Those tiny ridges on plastic water bottles that most people ignore are actually one of the most brilliant pieces of engineering hiding in plain sight. These PET plastic bottles, that's polyethylene terephthalate, represent decades of materials, science innovation through injection, stretch blow molding. Every time you grab a bottle of water, you're holding a masterpiece of structural design where those reinforcing ribs, the technical term for those ridges, use stress dispersion to solve problems you never even knew existed. Let me tell you about the mechanical engineer who started this revolution. In 1967, Nathaniel Wyeth was working at DuPont when he wondered why plastic wasn't being used for soda bottles. This wasn't just any engineer asking this question. Wyeth came from America's most famous artistic family. His father was the legendary illustrator N.C. Wyeth, and his brother Andrew Wyeth was already making waves as a painter. But Nathaniel was different. At age 3, his technical bent was so obvious that his parents actually renamed him after his uncle, an engineer, abandoning his birth name of Newell Convers Wyeth Jr. Wyeth's curiosity led him to experiment with a plastic detergent bottle, filling it with soda to see what would happen. The bottle couldn't handle the pressure and failed spectacularly. But instead of giving up, this failure sparked years of innovation that would literally reshape how we drink beverages today through molecular alignment and strain hardening principles. Working with his knowledge of nylon production, Wyeth knew that stretching plastic makes it stronger. When making nylon thread, stretching causes molecules to line up, creating incredible strength. But here was the challenge. Thread only needs to be strong in one direction, while bottles need to be strong in every direction simultaneously. His breakthrough came from devising a way to extrude plastic with crisscrossed flow lines that reinforce themselves, creating what we now know as biaxial stretching. This ISBM process, injection stretch blow molding, stretches molecules vertically, first through industry standard axial stretch ratios of 2.5 to 3, then horizontally through blowing with hoop stretch ratios of 4 to 5. The molecules form cross shapes that fit together with minimal space, creating less porosity and increasing barrier strength against permeation. The intrinsic viscosity of the PET material determines exactly how far these molecules can stretch before breaking. In 1973, Wyeth received his patent for polyethylene terephthalate bottles. DuPont began tentative production that same year, and by the end of the 1970s, they were producing more than 2.5 billion bottles annually. But here's where the story gets really interesting. Those ridges you see on your water bottle aren't just decorative touches, they're reinforcing ribs, and they solve a fundamental engineering problem that plagued early plastic bottles through precise stress distribution. Think about a smooth cylinder for a moment. It's actually one of the weakest shapes when it comes to resisting external pressure. Without reinforcement, a smooth plastic bottle would crumple in your hand, burst under pressure, or deform during shipping. The ridges change everything. They work exactly like the principle of an arch bridge, distributing stress along their length instead of allowing it to concentrate in weak spots. Engineers call this stress dispersion, and it's absolutely crucial for modern bottle design. The concave-convex structure of these reinforcing ribs acts like an invisible skeleton throughout the bottle body. When you squeeze a bottle, instead of the force concentrating at one point and causing catastrophic failure, it spreads along the ridges, maintaining the bottle's structural integrity. This principle goes back centuries in architecture and engineering. Corrugated surfaces provide dramatically greater strength in the direction along the corrugations. It's the same reason why cardboard is corrugated, why airplane wings have ribs, and why the Romans built arched bridges that are still standing today. The curved surfaces and their geometric moments create strength that would be impossible with flat or smooth surfaces using the same amount of material. The ridges serve multiple purposes beyond just structural strength. They dramatically improve your grip, especially when your hands are wet or when you're exercising. The manufacturers discovered that these reinforcing ribs offer perfect ergonomic benefits. The total height of the ridge sections is typically between 60 and 100 millimeters, which is exactly the right size for a human hand to grip comfortably. Now let's talk about something that might blow your mind: the incredible lightweighting revolution that these ridges have enabled. Modern engineering has pushed plastic bottle weights to almost unbelievable limits through advanced preformed design specifications. Consider this: a standard 500 milliliter PET water bottle today weighs less than 10 grams. Just a few years ago, that same bottle weighed 17 grams. That's a weight reduction of over 40%. Coca-Cola has been particularly aggressive with this lightweighting through their World Without Waste initiative. Over the last decade, they've incrementally reduced their bottles from 27 grams to 21 grams, and their latest breakthrough pushes that down to just 18.5 grams. The single innovation is expected to reduce Coca-Cola's use of new PET plastic by more than 30 million pounds in 2025 alone. That's equivalent to about 800 million bottles worth of plastic. Between 2000 and 2014, the bottled water industry achieved something remarkable. They reduced the average weight of a 16.9 ounce bottle by 51%, saving 6.2 billion pounds of PET resin during that period. Today, the average weight has dropped even further to just 9.25 grams per 16.9 ounce container. The economics become staggering. Saving just 1 gram on a bottle can save a manufacturer $12,000 per year if they produce 10 million bottles, and PET costs $1.20 per kilogram. In one documented case study, engineers saved a client 4 grams per bottle, resulting in over $48,000 in material cost savings in the first year alone. When you multiply this across the billions of bottles produced worldwide every year, we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars in annual savings for major companies like Coca-Cola and Pepsi. But here's the engineering challenge. As bottles get lighter, they become more prone to crushing and deformation. This is where those ridges become absolutely critical. Without them, these ultralight bottles would be impossible to use. The ridges allow manufacturers to use dramatically less plastic while maintaining the bottle's functionality through optimal natural stretch ratios. The process of creating these bottles is fascinatingly complex. It starts with creating a preform through injection molding, which looks like a thick test tube. This preform is then heated and placed into a blow mold. Compressed air is injected while stretch rods simultaneously pull the plastic vertically. This biaxial stretching, vertical from the rods, horizontal from the air pressure, aligns the molecules in a crosshatch pattern that creates incredible strength through strain hardening. The ridges are designed into the mold itself, so as the plastic stretches to fill the mold cavity, it naturally forms these reinforcing structures. Different types of beverages actually require different ridge patterns. Carbonated beverages need thicker, denser ridges to resist the higher internal pressure from the CO2, while still water bottles can use relatively mild ridge patterns. The PCO neck finish standards, whether 1810, 1816, or 1881 specifications, determine how the bottle interfaces with caps and closures. This lightweighting revolution comes with trade-offs that affect your daily experience. Those ultra-thin walls that save materials and money also make bottles more likely to crush in your hand, especially after you've opened them and released the internal pressure that was helping maintain their shape. It's a common frustration. You go to take a drink, squeeze slightly too hard, and suddenly you're wearing your beverage instead of drinking it. The environmental implications of this technology are staggering and complex. The US alone consumed about 86 billion plastic water bottles in 2021, up from just 3 billion in 1997. That's an increase of nearly 3,000%. Globally, the bottled water industry generated roughly 600 billion plastic bottles and containers in 2021, creating around 25 million tons of plastic waste. Here's the sobering reality. PET plastic bottles can take up to 500 years to degrade, and unfortunately, only about 1/3 of all plastic bottles were recycled in the United States. In 2023, new PET bottles contain only 7% recycled content on average, according to the Container Recycling Institute. Yet the engineering behind these bottles represents a fascinating balance of competing priorities. According to the American Chemistry Council, when comparing materials throughout their entire life cycle, plastics actually leave a smaller environmental footprint than alternatives like glass, aluminum cans, or paperboard cartons. Alternative beverage containers would produce about 60% more greenhouse gas emissions than plastic bottles. The technology continues evolving rapidly. Graham Packaging's active base technology now allows vacuum displacement in the bottle base, eliminating the need for traditional vacuum panels and enabling even more lightweighting without compromising durability. Innovative base designs like edge beam and smart disc technology, combined with nitrogen dosing in ultralight formats, reinforce vertical load capacity, and prevent panel collapse. Some manufacturers like Aelpla and KHS are now producing returnable PET bottles that can withstand up to 25 washing and refill cycles. KHS and Alpla have developed a returnable 1-liter PET bottle that weighs 10 grams less than standard containers, with some returnable PT containers weighing as little as 55 grams. These innovations push the boundaries of what's possible with injection stretch blow molding technology. The future includes requirements like tethered caps in Europe, designed to boost recycling rates and eliminate stray caps in the environment. These simple changes in sustainable bottle design are becoming essential for circularity in packaging, driven by organizations like CEDI, the International Technical Center for Bottling, which sets industry standards. Looking at a plastic water bottle today, it's easy to see just another disposable container, but you're actually looking at decades of engineering innovation, from Nathaniel Wyeth's initial curiosity in 1967 to today's ultra-sophisticated designs that balance strength, weight, cost, and environmental impact through those seemingly simple ridges and advanced materials science. Every ridge represents thousands of hours of engineering work, computer modeling, and testing. Every curve has been optimized for stress distribution. Every gram saved represents millions of dollars and thousands of tons of plastic across the entire industry. The molecular alignment achieved through precise intrinsic viscosity control and strain hardening makes it all possible. The next time you pick up a plastic water bottle, take a moment to appreciate those tiny ridges. They're not just there to help you grip the bottle, they're the visible evidence of one of the most successful engineering solutions in modern manufacturing, enabling a revolution in how we package and consume beverages while pushing the boundaries of what's possible with injection stretch blow molding and materials science. From Nathaniel Wyeth's artistic engineering family to today's computer-designed lightweighting marvels, the humble plastic water bottle ridge represents human ingenuity at its finest, solving complex problems with elegant simplicity hidden in plain sight in something we use every single day. Make sure you subscribe